Of course I wanted to quit. Been through enough to want to quit. There's just this little voice in the back of my mind that says, don't quit, don't quit. I have been through a living nightmare, and you know what? It hasn't shut me, and it hasn't won, and it didn't defeat me. It knocked me down. Of course it knocked me down, but I got back up again. And you know what? Then I got knocked down again, and guess what? I got back up again. And my life is about the ups and downs, the highs and lows, and I'm willing to ride them. And the more that I've got to ride these lows and I get out of them lows, I'm just building more resilience. And for me, that puts a smile on my face because I'm getting stronger. And the more I build that mindset, I get stronger from all my setbacks. Even if I am tired, I'm telling myself I'm not. What you believe is what you become.
So when was the first moment that you realised things weren't normal?
Yeah. You remember Dino calling me one afternoon and he asked me if I was going to go down and see him anytime soon. He was staying at Mum and Dad's house. And that was odd. It just sounded odd. The sound in his tone and the voice was odd. And I started thinking then that this isn't the Dino that I know. So I went down to Brisbane and I went to Mum and Dad's house where we were staying, and I'd seen a Dino I'd never seen before. I'd seen a Dino that was empty, flat, almost defeated like. And I was scared just seeing him, that I hadn't seen that side before. And I just said, hey, let's go for a beer. Yeah, let's. That was all that's all I had to say, and he was out the door pretty quick. Anyway, he grabbed his cowboy hat because he lived in his cowboy hat, and he's real renowned for that. So we sat there, and as I looked at him, it's like the roles reversed. His head went down. I could see the top of the hat, and my head was up because now I'm playing Dean's role. And that's when alarm bells are ringing straight away, going, this isn't great. Something's gone here. And I've just said, Dino, and he went. And I still visualise that moment when he raised his chin up, and all I could see was the hat and eyes and just this mouth that was just sad. It was, I've never seen Dino look like that. And I said, Dino, what's wrong? So all he did was, Leon, I'm going to kill myself. The silence was eerie because I didn't know, how do you even respond to that? I'm not trained for this stuff. None of us are trained for this conversation. And my reply, which was probably the most stupidest thing I've ever said to this date, was, why don't you just go get help? And his reply was, yeah, okay, cool, all right, I'll do that. No worries, I'll go get another round of beers. That was it. That was my way of avoiding the situation. And our rest of the conversation that afternoon was silence. The only thing I knew to do was, let's cut this short and let's go home. So we did. That was the last time I'd seen him. He did ring me a week later. He rang me at 7:05 in the morning. I stared at it. I couldn't answer it because I didn't know what to say. Was he going to say the same thing as he said last time? So I let it ring. Then I thought, no, I need to ring him back. So I picked up the phone and rang him back, and I got voicemail. From that moment on, he turned his phone off, and there was no contact from then. So he did leave a voicemail message though. Hey bro, I'm so sorry, but I gotta go. Love to your family. Bro. That was it. So immediately in this situation, obviously this is serious. So I remember ringing my sisters and asking them if they had any contact with Dean, and obviously we got hold of mum and dad, and obviously then the alarm bell started ringing, so then the search party went out. At this moment I'm thinking, do I drive down to his house? Do we go searching? I didn't know what to do. I was driving up the freeway and I'd just spoken to Dad, and Dad had just mentioned that they hadn't heard from him. And I just remember driving home and this song come on, I was playing at the time. It was called Colder Weather by Zac Brown Band. And it was just a real beautiful, somber song that for some reason I just kept playing and playing and playing, and I don't know, it was just making me in a moment with Dean. For some reason, music has that way of being very therapeutic, and I was just having my own little moment driving up the freeway, and I thought to myself, he's gone. I just knew. And at this point, I didn't even go home. I didn't want to go home. I went to a friend's house and kept working, and then got home in the evening and then just sat on the lounge. Didn't really say much to my family, just sat there. And continuously sat there until about 10:30 at night, and the phone rang. And that phone call I will never forget. I could just hear Mum frantically screaming in the background, and Dad telling me that they had just found Dean and that he had taken his life. And they found him in a little nature park where he used to go and take his kids. So that was his resting ground at that time. From that point, you know, went back to obviously go catch up straight away with Mum and Dad, as you do, and try to be of comfort to them and try to process also what's going on. So it was a feeling that those that have been through the passing of losing anyone, which most of us have, it was a moment in time that was the hardest moment of my life, but it was the most defining moment, era of my life, that it's never taught me so much about myself, about being a leader, standing up and trying to rise above during adversity around those around you. And that was the defining moment for myself in my life that defined who Leon was destined to be. Some of the hardest times in my life, it all seemed to happen at one hit, you know, like obviously, you know, Dean passed, and then a few years after that, they were losing a couple of clients within that week. And then, you know, you fast forward another 6 months from that, and I was still recovering from that and trying to digest, you know, those three amazing people that are no longer here. And, you know, then there was another moment that really, really, really challenged me. I had another friend as well that was actually messaging me at the same time saying he was in trouble, and I'd been helping this guy, what I would say, for 3 years, just texting. He lived up North Queensland, so I never really got to see him, but I did go to school with him. And he wanted help. He wanted me to call him, and I'm just like, not today. No, I can't do it. And so I didn't. So I didn't call him. And it was actually very early in the morning. Then I sort of flew off late in the evening, and then I got to Sydney, and obviously I checked my phone. It's the first thing I generally do, and I actually got a message from a guy in Sydney, another friend of mine, that told me, did I know that Jono had passed? And I'm just like, he just sent me a message. You know what I mean? He just sent me a message asking me to call him, and I didn't call him. I was crushed. And it was actually that moment that I really started thinking that, man, I need help. It's like every time I just started getting to a position where I start feeling well and stable and moving forward, was kind of like quicksand. I was at boiling point and I didn't know who on earth can help me from this situation when you've just had 5 people that you have played a big role in their life, pass away in such devastating scenarios in all of them. So I had nothing else.
Do you have any regret?
100% regret. I hadn't actually done much right, to be very honest. My intentions were good. I'd let people down, not meaning to, trying to be there for people, but didn't have the resources or the education or the strength to do what I needed to do. I carry that burden. I do. I can't not carry that burden. And again, I joined the church to not carry this burden. I somewhat, while I'm at peace, when I do talk about it, I could just email it and put my head in a bucket of sand. But then I do pick it up and I do understand that, you know what, these things, they haven't happened to me, they're happening for me. And that's a hard concept for people to understand, that in life that's we can look at these events and go, oh, why me, poor me, how, why is all this happening? Or I can try to look at it in an aspect of going, this is, I'm growing. It's terrible that these people are no longer here, but it's growing me, making me physically, mentally stronger, so I can have a bigger impact to more people in the global side of it, which is what always been my dream, is to try to give back to as many people as I can. So if it means I've got to go through all this hardship to be able to, fulfill my purpose of giving back to others, well, you know what? I guess that's just how it is. I thank Steve, and I thank Ange, and I thank Dale, and I thank Dino, these people that have actually taught me so much. And their pain that they had to go through has actually built me. And I wish they were here today, though they've come and had a massive impact on myself as a human being, and I'm a better person now for knowing them. This week's been hectic. I've been traveling around, been in the city, and I want to do a whole heap of zip. Actually, I do want to go and do my lawn and tidy my lawn up. You know what, funny, when we looked at it a couple of weeks ago, it was looking not too bad, and then lawn grubs got it. So I've got to actually get a little bit of maintenance on that today to bring that back up the par. And I was actually talking to the wife last night going, you know what, I want to rip this up anyway very shortly, and I want to put down some nice cooch and then get it looking like a Wembley Stadium. Give that little bit of a tinge of green back into it.
He's just obsessed with his lawn. It must be a male thing that you guys have an obsession with mowing your lawn and keeping the lawn amazing.
Oh, serious?
So grand's easier.
Oh man. Are you a grass head too, are you?
No, I'm not. But I was like,
in the next 6 months, I'm going to rip it up. I'm actually going to go a whole nother level. It's lush, it's cool, but it still hasn't got the effect of Wembley that I'm looking for. So that's what I'm up to next.
So what happened this week with your shoulder? How are you feeling?
Oh, the shoulder, this dreaded shoulder. It's been actually 9 months. It's been a hindrance for 9 months, and it has little stages where it starts to get better, then all of a sudden it'll just deteriorate rapidly. So, but the last 3 months during prep, I've obviously upped the ante, and it's definitely gone backwards. It's gone backwards. So I'm in the middle of getting an MRI on it next week, and I've had to get some anti-inflammatory injections just to try to make do and try to get through training sessions. And I'm willing to put my body on the line, and I'll have to, take care of the consequences at the end. And it's not life-threatening. I mean, it might mean I might need a little bit of an operation at the end of it, but you know what? I've already had many of them before, so what's another shoulder on top of 4 knee reconstructions and 2 broken ankles? So this is Jason, my myotherapist. Jason's had the challenge of trying to keep me together. It's been a mission, hasn't it? He keeps doing all the hard work, and then I keep undoing all his hard work. And we've had this shoulder now for 9 months, which has been a bit of a handful. So we get this report, Jace, and it doesn't look overly riveting, does it?
It's not great, mate. It's not great.
So if you read that, what you go? It's not overly fantastic.
It's not great, mate.
I'm a big boy,
It's-
so you can spit it out in layman's terms for us.
Yeah, it's the labral tear that's the main thing that's not ideal. And then also you've got a tendon issue with that supraspinatus, which is the one
When you keep working on
we're
it.
trying to basically try and balance your shoulder to take all the pressure off that. That's what we've been trying to do, knowing there's probably something little there, but
Yeah.
it's not too little. But mainly it's that labral tear that's the one that's not ideal. You got to try and not irritate it is the best way to.
Yeah.
And it's hard when you're trying to do what you're doing right now.
Yeah.
The amount of training you're doing and what you've got to put your body through to get where you've got to get to is really tough when you've got an issue like that. It's a hard one, mate. But yeah, look, I'm glad you got the scan because we know
we know what's going on.
It,
Yeah, that's it. I say I'm totally fine. I knew that there wasn't good. I still remember the day it cracked.
Yeah.
I know the day when it come down, and I'm just gone. That's not good.
So when are you seeing the surgeon?
Tuesday.
Next Tuesday.
Yeah. I'll let you know what he says, man.
Yeah.
Already.
It's not going to be ideal. You just get in your head that it's not going to be great.
I'm ready for it, to be honest.
Just head up straight, brother. Yep, hold there again. That's the one. Okay, let it go.
There she goes.
Do you want to take this off for me?
Yeah.
Well, you cutting up, brother.
Huh? Yeah.
Getting there. I'll get you back on your back. Okay.
Yep.
Let's go on this subscap.
For this time round, what concerned me the most was his shoulder. Was knowing that he could do so much more damage if he continued what he was doing.
That's the worst one.
You're welcome.
Can we work on the abdomen now? Oh, goodness.
I'm not sure whether the shoulder is going to put an end to his career. I probably think not. He'll find some way around it. My fear is that he'll do more damage to it. They say the shoulder can come back stronger. I don't know about that.
All right?
Just a little spasm up the shoulder, it's alright.
That's all right. It's not hurting anything.
Nah. Oh, it's hurting me. It's hurting me.
Okay.
When I come back from this is the first time in my injury career that I'm going to struggle. It's been a hell of a challenge on 2150 calories now, so not too bad. That's acceptable. I have low days when I don't train of 185 carbs, but still, hey, that's still pretty good. You know, I'll take that. And probably the biggest problem I've got at the moment is the shoulder. Minus the shoulder, you know, I reckon this would be a walk in the park, to be honest. When I saw the surgeon during the week on the Tuesday, I did get a bit of an eye-opener. I went in there very optimistic and very positive. I got a little bit of a dagger thrown in the heart.